Hello, dreamers. This is the Dream Stream of Consciousness podcast, and I am Yiskah Cook.
I'm Ellen Ronis.
Hello, Ellen. So, yes,
Hi.
I know last time you had two dreams. We worked on the smaller of the two. So, would you like to share that dream or perhaps a newer one?
Um, I did have a newer dream, but I think I'd like to do this big one.
Okay.
It feels big. I'm going to read it. I wrote it. I'm going to read. I wrote like a. I'm just going to read what I.
Yes.
I'm driving with a male friend in my car on a country road in upstate New York. The road was close to a steep uphill embankment. It is a gray day, and the contrast of dark asphalt, two-lane road, and red, orange, yellow, and brown leaves to the side of the road from a strong, damp autumn wind was remarkable. The road is narrow, and there's a car in front of us. um, I'm sorry, there's a car in front of us that as they wind around a curve, they stop. I stop sharply so as not to hit them. I feel adrenaline prickling through my body. My eyes grow twice the size. An Asian man gets out of his car as I reach for my phone to take a photo of his license plate. The numbers look jumbled in my shocked vision. He opens the back door and collects his two daughters by pulling one into the other, then pulling them together out like a big sack of flour. They seem to me to be about 5 and 9 years old. He carries them to the embankment and presses them into the leaves and detritus on the side of the road.
Oh,
I'm in absolute horror watching as I notice the girls. As I notice that the girls aren't crying. They seem to accept this. I open my door to do something, although I don't know what to do. I should I shout at him? Should I rescue the girls? Scream at his wife in the passenger seat, doing absolutely nothing? As I open my door, the man looks back before he gets in the car and nonchalantly says to me, "They are just too expensive to feed." I run over to the girls and see that they'd unwrapped some carefully packed Asian style snacks, which seems incongruous with not having money to feed them. I feel frozen to know what to do next. Sorry. Hold on.
it's okay.
Sorry. I left the stove. I left the stove
Oh,
on.
safety
um,
first.
safety first, yes. Don't burn the house down while you're doing your dream work. Um, so I'm stunned that the girls just start to eat their snacks like in the side of the, just like nothing is happening. And they told me that they were taught to be strong and that they wouldn't cry and that they would be okay.
And then it
That's the
ends.
dream. Yep.
Okay. This is a big dream, so I want to handle it gingerly. I wanted to go through all the steps. So, what would you title this dream?
Precious cargo.
Oh, yes. I love that. So, it's just there's a very sinister part of this dream because when I was hearing it, and this is my projection, the man like rubbed his daughters with a Duchess. I didn't know, did he kill them first? Is he killing them by like smothering them? But it wasn't until later when the dreamer was talking about the children eating their snack, eating the
Yeah.
snacks.
Yeah. No, they were alive. He just,
Yeah,
he reached in the back seat and took one, like this way and
yeah,
pulled him the other. So he was carrying them both kind of like this, like
yeah.
nestled in, and he just pulls them out and just puts them there, like kind of with the pressing action, like pressing them
Yeah.
in. Very,
Oh,
very bizarre. Very bizarre. Let's just say that.
and
Yeah.
how did you feel when you woke up?
Um, Kind of just baffled, horrified, had like a little scared,
Yes.
um, a little like feeling of like rejection, even though it wasn't me, but I sort of had this feeling of like,
Uh,
wow, abandonment, like I felt abandoned.
identifying with the
Yes.
daughters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
now we'll do a reality check. So, tell me anything that's familiar from your waking life.
The road felt familiar. It felt a little bit like the Taconic Parkway, maybe, or something like
Okay.
that, because it was like a highway, but it was a net, like it was two lanes, one going each way, but
Okay.
which Taconic is more than that, but it is a smaller highway. It's more narrow and more
Yes.
countrified. There's trees and things. It just had
Yes.
that flavor to it. The cars were real cars. There was nothing, it was a scenario that could have been real.
Right.
I did not know this family. I didn't have a sense of who my partner was, but it was a man. But there was somebody
Okay.
sitting with me, but I don't have a visual of who it was. Um, yeah.
Okay.
So I
And
mean, nothing about it feels real. I mean, even
cla-
though everything felt real, nothing about the
sure.
action felt real. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Clarifying question. Were you the driver or the passenger?
I was the driver.
Okay. So you were in
Yeah.
control of this vehicle.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, what was the thought then? What were you gonna, did you feel that the little girls then became your responsibility of what to do with them? Or you
That's
couldn't even
kind
come
of,
to that?
yeah, that was kind of the flavor. It was like they were like abandoning their girls. They were abandoning their girls, and he look, he's about to get into his car and drive
And
off
drive away.
as,
So
after he,
you're feeling responsible.
so yeah, like I'm just wanting to like scream at him or do something or say something, but nothing comes
Yeah.
out, but so I, and then that's when he says, as he's kind of opening his door to get back in the car, he says, they're just too expensive. I can't feed them. They're too expensive to feed. Like I'm just getting rid of them because I can't afford them. Oh
And it
my
makes
God.
it's
It's so
such a
painful.
painful and so much depth with a I can't feed them metaphorically. I can't feed
Yes.
them. I'm not, you can't give them the nourishment that they
Yeah.
need to thrive. And so that makes me think I'm the man speaking. I can't feed something. Where am I? My question, where am I hungry and wish I could, I have a feeling Jimmer's going to say, oh, I wish I had more money so I could do more workshops. And I'm saying, dreamer, you should be facilitating, not should, you'll be facilitating workshops just as you have been. You'll continue to. And but where is there anywhere in the dreamer's life where it feels like I can't afford this?
Um, yeah.
Yes.
um, let's see. What can I say about that? It has been my kind of standard go-to belief for many, many, many years of my life that I can't afford. I say this in quotes for those who can't see me and are just listening. I
Yes.
can't afford it. Whatever it is, the workshop, the expensive dinner, the clothes, this whatever. I can't afford it. No, I can't do that. I can't afford it. It's never really true that I can't afford it. It's
Yes.
just like it's a mindset of not enough.
Yes.
Um,
Oh,
it isn't,
oh,
it really isn't true now. I mean, I really do have plenty of savings and I can afford things, but I still go into that mindset a
sure.
little bit, especially when my business is not thriving, which it isn't at the moment.
So
It
lack.
does have it's in a dip, and so there's a
Yes.
lack, and it
A
goes
lack.
along with a lot of difficult feelings too, when
Yes.
clients will
Yes.
show, stop
It's
coming, who
hard
I've
to
had
work with people.
relationships. Oh my goodness.
So
It's
hard.
like I really hard not to take it personally. And I know it's not personal. People have things that come up,
Yeah,
but like
absolutely.
long-term relationships, years and years relationships, and people, and they, somebody will just say, "Hey, I'm just going to take a break." I'm like, "What?"
Wow. Uh-huh. I
Like
wondered,
they're incomes,
yeah,
um, that
it's
are
fascinating.
like,
Oh,
yeah,
can I bring us back to the dream? Although what you're
sure.
sharing is likely a part of this
Well,
psychology
you
of
had
the
asked
dreamer.
me if there's a place where I feel lack, and so
Okay.
I'm saying
Yes.
really at this very moment that actually did happen very recently, where a long-term client
Okay.
just said he was going to take a break with no real explanation, and so I'm left with this feeling of abandonment and not
Yes.
knowing what I did, wrong, which was nothing, I'm sure. It was
Uh,
just whatever.
I
I don't know
understand.
what was going on in his life. So that's where that comes
I understand.
from
Thank
you
you.
asking the question.
I did. Thank you, Ellen. So I'm wondering, one is 4 and one is 6, or one is 6 and one is 8. What are the years of the girls?
5 and 9 was what I figured.
5 and 9.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like a significant time in the life. So I might ask you what happened in your life when you were like between 5 and 9 years old. Is there anything significant that you picked up or learned?
Really hard to
I know
say. Yeah,
it's hard to say.
nothing significant really. I feel like that was a good time of life for me, I think.
The other
Um,
thing I would want to do is, you know, subtract 5 years from my own life,
mm,
and 7 years from my own life. And I would want to see, well, where was I then? And did I have the same old feeling that I can't afford it? You know, where was I then? And have I worked through more? I believe we're always working through what's on our
mhm,
plate, so to speak, or what
right,
universe brings upon us. So
mm,
these are just two searching questions. So what
mm.
do you want to know about this dream?
It's all of it really. Like, I guess what's really striking is, um, yeah, I think what I'm kind of left with is what am I going to do with these girls now?
Yes,
Because it does seem like I'm not going to let them sit here. I'm taking
yes,
them. I'm going to take
yes.
them and do, and so maybe, I guess it almost seems like I'm to sort of repair some part of my young person inside myself.
Oh,
You know, like to reparent them or to take them in and love them the way they need
yeah,
to be loved, and regardless
yes.
of affording or not, if like I can do that, or I can do this somehow.
Mm.
Um, but I'm just also curious about like how could this person be so cavalier about it? Like, I just can't afford them. Like, with not a lot of emotion. Like,
So
I
this
think
is
that's
the car
tough.
in front of my car that stopped short.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why they
Mm.
stopped short. So the father can gather up the children, put them
Yeah,
firmly
so
on
they
the
can.
leaves. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it seems significant to me that the season, the leaves,
yeah,
what falling leaves can indicate if you look at it in a
yeah.
metaphorical
Like the coming
way.
cold. That's what it felt like.
The
This
coming
coming
cold.
cold.
Oh,
Like it
that's a
was
little,
autumn, but there was something.
yeah,
That season is definitely like maybe it's about going within, like needing to go within,
yeah. I know
kind
there's
of.
been a lot of work done on the inner child. I've never done inner child work. I can
Mm-hmm.
imagine, I can feel into what I would think it is. But do you have experience with inner child work, like
I I do a
officially?
little bit. Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, maybe not officially, but I'm
that's not the
really
right
very,
word, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah.
Um, I'm very interested in this internal family systems, IFS work, which is
Yes,
very out there in the world these days.
yes.
And I think it's fantastic work because it it helps you to kind of look at all the different parts of yourself.
Yes.
The part of you that is needy, that longs for something, that didn't get enough attention,
I've
you
done this.
know,
I've done workshops in this where like
really, and
four people volunteer and no.
that's probably more like Gestalt, where people volunteer to be different I mean, look, this is not
Or
new.
like in this
It's
way,
somebody.
people volunteer to be like people in your life. It's like a family systems thing. So someone is your
Oh, no,
ex-husband,
that's
someone's
family
your
constellation.
oh,
Yeah,
it's
that's different. It's
okay.
family constellation. Yeah,
Yes.
which is probably on some level not that different, but that's more about how it is now and how you want to interact with those
How you
different people.
can
This is really more like your own
prepare.
parts in your. Yeah,
So this is
like
more of a
when we
sub
always.
personality. Have you read about the sub personalities? The woman who wrote about um oh, what did she write about? I can't think of it right now. I can't think of her name, but she writes about all our sub personalities. Did you ever see that movie with joy and sadness? And it was like teaching children about the sub personalities that we have in ourselves. It sounds to me like
Hmm,
this might be similar, different words.
I don't know about that, but so I just know it as how I know it. But
Yeah, so please
it's
explain it more.
yeah. So yeah, how can I say? Like, I'll just give an example. Like, there's a part of me that is very, 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 very young who feels abandoned, who feel like she got
Oh,
abandoned.
yes.
We all
Yes.
have some version of that, right? My brother
Sure.
was born on his first birthday, and I have a sister who's just barely 2 years older than me,
I
and so
know. Say that again because
right
that's
that
so significant. Your
yeah,
brother was born
my
on your
brother was born,
first birthday.
yeah,
I
on
mean,
my
right
first
there,
birth. So
you know.
I was like an infant. I was not even a toddler. I mean, and so again, like, oh, poor me, whatever. A lot of people have that, especially that generation. People were cranking out babies. What can I say? But,
Yeah, it's really
but it
true.
definitely affected my sort of unconscious life. And
I'm
so
sure.
there's this, I had to grow up quickly, and so as I'm talking about this, I'm kind of getting the sense that this is a connection to those little
Okay.
girls, right?
That's what I was
Like that there's
thinking.
yeah,
Yeah.
that there's some. Um, so just to say about the IFS work, so I
Yes.
could, so it's, I mean, how do I even say that? So there's that in me, and then sometimes I can act out from that place. If she's driving the car, right?
Yeah.
She's in the control seat,
Yes,
and
she is.
something happens, and then she feels abandoned, and she like feels like a little girl who's been abandoned
So then I
instead of
imagine, pardon me, I
the
imagine
wise.
I would blame myself. I'm just saying, I imagine if I'm the driver, I'm
Mhm.
blaming myself. If I'm in control, that's just my feeling. Myself, me,
You
projection,
mean
if
in
it's my
dream?
dream. Yes. Bless
Excuse
you.
you.
If this were my dream, I would feel that.
Mhm.
Because I think when children feel abandoned, they can't help but think, did I have something to do
Oh,
with this?
I see what you're
You
saying. It's
know,
my fault.
this
Right.
is my
Right.
fault. I'm too expensive. I know
Yeah.
children often shine that on themselves, put that on themselves, and um,
Well,
as me, with my dream, I'm the driver, so I'm in control. So I feel like I'm in control, and therefore the blame has to also come to me. I feel like I'm blaming myself, is what I feel.
mm, yeah. I mean, am I doing that in the dream? I don't feel like I'm doing that in the
Great,
dream. I
great.
don't feel like that's happening. But I think when it comes to recognizing those inner beings, like, we can blame ourselves, but the
That's
idea
right.
is to remember your adult, wise, resourced self with a heart and a soul and a
Yes,
mind,
yes,
taking care of that little one, integrating her, pulling her in and saying, I got you. You don't have to be in the
yes.
driver's seat.
That's what
I
we have to do
see
for ourselves.
you tried to
Yes,
protect me. You're acting out in protection of me somehow, or
yes,
as a,
yes.
defending me against. but I don't need you to do that anymore. I got you.
Yes,
That's the IFF
I
word.
love it.
So if I look at it in those terms, then it's like those little
Yes.
ones, I don't know why 5 and 9, came up. It's not, doesn't
I
feel
actually,
significant in my
I
own.
think you said 4 and 6 in the beginning of this.
I said I said 5 and 9 because I
No,
wrote
I
it
know you
down and I
said, I
just
know
read
you
it.
said that. I know you said 5 and 9 more recently. Oh, I'm mistaken then. But I thought it was even numbers. But I hear that I was mistaken.
No, I 5 and 9. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess I could explore like, well, what's the developmental stuff that happens in those two different ages, and
Yeah.
but I feel like I mean, that was very specific, so there must be something significant. But I don't know,
Yes.
I'm more curious about this man, and like if I'm him, if we're looking at it in that
Oh,
way,
uh-huh.
if I'm why Asian, I don't know at all. I just yeah, don't
Yeah.
even know why it would be, but
I could
just
just
yeah,
think, if I may,
the sort of nonchalant.
if I may
Mhm.
bring up some stereotypes, which are not good, I know, but like the tiger mom, it's almost like so uncharacteristic of an Asian family's reputation, like superstition. Of course, every Asian family is different. This is every individual, but um,
Mhm.
it just doesn't feel right that an Asian guy is abandoning his kids. I just think they would want to educate the children, and it's just
Right.
uncharacteristic in my
Well,
understanding.
it feels completely uncharacteristic for absolutely any parent. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, no, and
it
this
to me
is
it just
very true. Yes.
right like I don't know. I think when I think of Asian, my own internal like I don't know if I would say judgment or whatever, but
Okay.
yeah, I guess it's a judgment. It's like there's a softness to Asian people. Like they're not like like aggressive and of course that isn't necessarily true either, right?
Right.
But like in somehow I that's kind of how I see like there's like a properness and a quietness and kind of intelligence.
Yes.
Um, but so I don't
Yeah.
know,
No, I know. And these are all, well,
it's
stereotypes,
all
but
just stereotype and
you know,
right. And so what that means is like, yeah, he just feels very nonchalant and very matter of fact.
yes.
Um,
Here's a question. What were their snacks? What were they eating?
they were like very Asian style, like rice with tofu like sesame seeds and like, almost like sushi type things,
Yeah,
like
like
little square
homemade.
rice thingies and
Okay.
rice
Yes.
balls and stuff like
Wow.
that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And they were wrapped. Oh, they were wrapped in cloth, like very carefully, beautifully wrapped. Like it all just felt so incongruous with the
So the
whole
parents
action
made this
of a
food, but decided
yeah.
we're not going to support our kids anymore.
But there was
Yeah.
something like now I'm starting to think like they wrapped the food, they made this food, they wrapped it so beautifully. They were kind of nonchalant, like maybe it was just this was part of ooh, it's an initiation. It feels
Okay.
like an initiation of some
Tell
sort.
me, tell me what about it does.
Like we're going to like like in some tribes, some kind of I don't know
Sure.
other cultures tribes, we're gonna send the kids out to the wherever the
Yeah.
desert or the mountain, the
Mm-hmm.
cave or something. They'll discover something about themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and they just do it bravely because they even though they're little kids, but they know they're supposed to, and it's part of their
Mm-hmm.
development and growing up and getting to the next level of their experience in life. So maybe for some reason that feels really right,
Yeah.
like
And
that there's something they're supposed, and they were very brave and they weren't emotional, which so that was
yeah.
interesting too,
Right. I
that they're
forgot about that part.
doing it, yeah,
Did
they're
they
allowing.
say did they say anything to the dreamer in the dream, or it was just a visual seeing this happen?
The man said to me
Yeah.
as he was getting back in his car after
Yes.
leaving the girls on the road, he said to me, like he knew that I was going to be like, what the
Yeah.
hell are you doing? Um, and he just said to me, because yeah, I had this like wild expression, like, what is
Yes,
happening? And he
yes.
just looked at me and like, they're just too expensive to feed. So that was what he said to me directly. Um,
It's heartbreaking.
yeah, yeah, really heartbreaking. But also like, okay, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's like
Oh,
this
well, do
divine,
you
I'm the
know,
divine intervention.
tonight is the Lunar New Year. It's Chinese New Year,
Oh
isn't
yeah.
it?
That's
I
true.
love
It
that.
is.
The new
Right.
moon. It's new moon. It's the
I know.
Sabbath. It's the year of the
Mm.
dragon. So all these good things.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what to, but I like the idea of maybe that there's some kind of an initiation, and then I'm sort of the divine intervention. I'm
Yes.
there, so I can take them
Yes.
and do something with them, teach them, love them,
Yeah. Oh
you
my
know,
gosh. Yes.
be a good mom for them somehow.
Yes.
And
Mm.
I think there is a lesson for me about affording, like that
Yes.
mindset of I can't afford it. Like there's definitely something to that in this dream too.
Yes.
Not sure, but
Is
yeah.
there anything else you need that we can explore from this dream?
Um, I don't think so. I
Okay.
mean, there's a lot I think, but I just can't really. Yeah, I don't know if I can in this kind of time like find more depth in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, I have one. It's kind of a sexy dream. I'm gonna say R-rated, not over the top. And oh, and before I go into it, two things. One is I brought up on my phone about subpersonalities, and I just want to know if this is familiar to you. I'm just gonna text it to you. We can talk about it not on this show. So
Okay.
the dream is let me get this setting. I do seem to be at some kind of party, but it's not one of my usual dream spaces. Is a new dream space. Um, Feels more like in the 70s somehow, like the cedar siding or whatever. And I'm fooling around with this man, and I notice, oh, he's got such a good physique, and he's got a furry chest, and I'm just like delighting in this beautiful man. And then it was something about his nipples. There was something about his nipples, and that was it. I don't remember. And then I wrote, "Oh, I wish I could remember more of this dream because it was a hot one." But I wanted to explore that because I don't remember ever dreaming about nipples, you know?
Hmm.
So let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is nipples are what is nourishing a baby. You
Yes,
know, it's a
yes,
man. Like that was the first thing.
right. Oh, right. So
that
it's
first hit
not
me.
that, right? So, I mean,
What does it?
can,
Is
they
it to
can
you?
be
Does it?
they can be ultra sensitive in
Hmm.
an exhilarating way, and also they could span to not feeling anything, right? And
Hmm.
so nipples are used for breastfeeding. Breasts are used to attract who may or may not become the dad. You know, the men are attracted to the boobies, the, and then the children feed, and the children that these two create because of this pull feeds then the baby. Um, what else?
Hmm.
I think it might be
Was there?
that
Oh, God.
I was just gonna
Was there a
say
difference in the way you felt about the man versus his nipples?
I liked the whole package, but for some reason that's what stuck out. And you know, that's probably where they get the word titillation. She's titillated. Do you think it
Oh,
actually comes from tit?
don't know.
Don't know.
No, I have to look up the what's that word? Epidemiology? No,
Oh,
ah,
the,
the origins of the word. I
the
can't.
origins of the word
There's a word, but
epidemiology. Yeah.
it's
So I
that.
guess as a whole, this just feels warm. Like and this also nipples, the hairy chest. This is all heart space. So
Hmm.
I'm feeling that this is about being warm in the heart space of a man. And
Hmm.
well, I hope
Hmm.
I'll say it that way because, right, the Talmud teaches a dream always follows its interpretation. And definitely that's why I'm a little, can't remember what you called me, but Pollyanna ish. What did you call that? Oh, bright, white,
Silver lining.
silver lining. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what I hope for. I hope it's not like if I'm him, I like my nipples being played with, whatever. I don't want to be him. I'm me, and he's,
Yeah. Doesn't have to be you, and that's just another way of
yeah,
looking at it. But
it's true.
but
So,
I like I like that you felt like warm, and that's
yeah,
kind of a yeah, that's a nice possibility.
it reminds me of an ex of mine, when I first saw him without his shirt on, I was like, oh, yummy. So much different than a woman. I'm hetero. Should be obvious, but no. But it's like, that line of hair and then the hair, just the pectorals, whatever it is. It was so attractive to me then, and it is in the stream.
Hmm. So, is there any other a feeling in the dream, or was there any other thing going on
There's a feeling of
that might give us some
excitement.
clues? Just a feeling of excitement.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't say acceptance. I said excitement.
Excitement. That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I accept the excitement I was feeling. Um, like other clues in the dream. So I have a feeling it was more of like a guy's place, and he and I went out of the seemed like a man cave type place. This is where you can
Mhm.
find the hot men. They're back in the man cave. So yeah, it felt like that.
Well, maybe, I mean, a dream certainly could be like a premonition, that such a thing could
Yeah.
happen. Or it could just be like, sometimes I've had dreams where it just feels so good. And I always makes me,
Yes.
just makes me think, oh gosh, that's a possibility,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
I'm gonna hold it as
Um,
that because
yeah. What it feels
it's
like. And the nipples, I don't know, I guess I think also like erect nipples
yeah.
means he was maybe excited. It could mean he
It,
was cold. It could also just mean he was excited, like
it was
sexually
excitement.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it symbolized in my mind too, a little bit, the titillation, the excitement. So, but I really like pinpointing the heart, the
Mhm.
chest, but especially
Right.
the
That's
nipples. What's
hair and
right in between?
yeah,
It's
but it's
the heart. So it's the warm heart, getting in touch
mm-hmm.
with my warm heart,
Mm,
having a warm heart. Um,
mm.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I like that you felt warm, right? That's what you said before too. You felt
Yes, I
warm.
did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. That's nice. I mean, maybe it's just something to feel, something that feels good. Like
Yes.
our dream sometimes just gives us what we don't have in waking life, and it feels good, and it's like, thank you.
And one prayer that people can say upon lovemaking or after or not, but it's for the unification of the Holy One, God, or with His holy Shekhinah, which is the presence of God.
Mm.
Um, in the unification of the Holy One and His Shekhinah, whatever the other words are, but it's like to bring it together, the masculine and the feminine, and that's what
Right,
this
because
dream
Shekhinah
feels like.
is like the feminine.
Yeah, and that's
Shekhinah is
what
feminine.
I hope Christians know. Like Shekhinah is the Holy Ghost. It's exactly what the Holy Ghost is, Shekhinah. So in Judaism, we don't have the Messiah, but we have the Father and the Holy Ghost. So the Holy Ghost being Shekhinah, the feminine. So it feels
Hmm.
like a unification sort of thing. And in that way, I could see I will become him. You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
fluid. I could be him,
Yeah,
I could be
yeah, I love
me,
that.
the love
I love
space.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful. Hmm.
Yes.
Anything else that you feel like you want to know, or any questions about that?
Or just something, just an aside. And I'm just saying this to you mostly, Ellen, but others who are interested. First thing in the morning, when a person wakes up, they're supposed to wash their hands 3 times. And so often Orthodox Jews will have what's called a Negovasser of water in a tub to spill it on and pour it on your hands. I don't do that, but when I first go into the bathroom, I wash my hand, each one 3 times. And
Mm,
I like it because it's really making the distinction for me from
mm.
dream time
Sleep
to
to
wake
work.
time,
Yeah,
.
yeah,
And then
that's
there's
cool.
also prayers to get one back in one's body, you know, um, spiritually, the idea that we leave our bodies when we dream. So
Hmm.
that's just the one thing I wanted to talk about with you. That's been
That's really
that's
cool.
been
I
great for
like that.
me.
It's a nice ritual. Yeah, that's a really
Yeah,
nice ritual.
because
Yeah.
it really does wake you up. I mean, just washing your hands 3 times, or it doesn't have to be,
Mm.
I think maybe it's right hand first, whatever. It doesn't have to be. You can do it however you want to do it. But
Yeah.
that's the way the Orthodox Jews do it.
Mm.
So
Cool. Yeah, that's
cool.
very nice ritual. Yeah, I think somebody once told me, or like it, it's been said to me probably many times in different ways that spirit likes rituals,
Yes.
like likes rituals because then it knows like you mean it. It's kind of like knows that you're
Yes.
reaching out, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I think we feel similarly about dreams. If we start to pay attention to our dreams, the dreams come more and more. So
yeah. Yes.
dreams like us to remember them. Spirit likes
Yeah.
rituals.
Yeah. Right. Right. It is all kind of the same. I get, well, it's not the same, but it's
Not the same, but a similar idea.
similar. Yeah. 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 I don't
Yes.
necessarily have a lot of rituals that I do, but um, I think it's cool to do
Well,
that.
yeah, tonight it'll be too late once this airs for our larger community to do this. But to you, Ellen, tonight is a new moon. It's the
Hmm.
lunar new year. It's Shabbat. It's the year of the rooster. No, it's not. It's year of the dragon. Um,
Yeah.
and we're all and there was something about a Hindu goddess that we celebrated yesterday. So we want to just, and it was at 5:03 Eastern time because that adds up to 8. And there's the whole thing with my friend Cece. Everything had to add up to 8. Um, we make meaning where we need meaning to be. And
Hmm.
we're just gonna all light a candle and hold in our hearts, that we wish for the world, like every person, contentment. If people are content, they're not gonna
Hmm.
wage a war,
Yeah.
which is not to say that
Yeah.
if you're content living
Yeah.
on the street, then they don't need to find you a home. It's not to say that at all. It's just that
Right. It's not complacency. It's just,
exactly.
being, maybe just being okay with the isness of things.
Yeah, it's not complacency,
Um,
it's contentment.
yeah,
So that's what
yeah,
we shall be doing later in a short
yes,
time,
I like it.
actually. So
Right, you're a little bit later than me, it's the light out,
yes,
so
yes.
yeah,
So thank
nice.
you, listeners. So
Thank you
good
all.
to for you to join us. And Ellen, as always, a pleasure.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Sweet dreams, everybody.
Holamod Metukin.